Let me ask you something. What if I told you that the next 500 days could completely change your life forever? Not in theory, not in dreams, but for real. 2026 is not some distant future. It's knocking at your door. And the question is, will you open that door stronger, wiser, more powerful? Or will you be the same person with the same regrets, telling the same story? Most people wait for something magical to happen, a breakthrough, a miracle. But life doesn't work that way. Life changes when you change. If you truly want to transform your future, it starts now, with the choices you make, the habits you build, the people you surround yourself with, and the battles you're willing to fight. This is not motivation for the moment. This is a roadmap for the rest of your life. So listen carefully. These are the 10 things you must do before 2026 if you want to look in the mirror and finally say, yes, I did it. Let's begin. Be brutally honest with yourself. That's where real change begins. Not in motivation, not in dreams, in truth. The hardest thing in life is not competing with others. It's facing yourself. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they lie to themselves. They say they're working hard, but they're just busy. They say they have no time, but they waste hours scrolling and complaining. You cannot change a life you're not willing to confront. You must stand in front of the mirror and say, this is where I am, this is what I've done, and this is what I need to change. That takes courage. Not many people have it, but if you do, your life will never be the same. I remember when I got rejected from jobs over and over again. It wasn't the rejection that hurt the most, it was the realization that I wasn't ready. I had to admit that my skills weren't good enough. My mindset wasn't sharp enough. That honesty woke me up. I didn't blame the world. I didn't complain about unfairness. I asked myself one question: what can I do better? And that question changed everything. So many people hide behind fake confidence. They post quotes, wear ambition like a mask. But deep inside, they know they're not doing what they need to do. Being honest doesn't mean beating yourself up. It means holding yourself accountable. It means saying, if I want a better life, I must make better choices. If you're always finding excuses, you're running from growth. But when you start taking full responsibility for where you are, you take full control of where you can go. Look, no one is coming to rescue you. Not your boss, not your parents, not your friends. The only person who can rescue your dream is you. And the first step is to tell yourself the truth. Where are you wasting time? Where are you avoiding effort? Where are you letting fear decide your future? Write it down, face it, own it. Because the moment you stop lying to yourself is the moment the world starts opening up for you. And if you do this, just this, before 2026, I promise you, you'll be unrecognizable to the person you are today. Now let's talk about the second thing you must do before 2026. And this one will completely change the way the world sees you. Learn a high-value skill that solves real problems. This is not optional. In today's world, talent is not enough. Dreams are not enough. Even hard work is not enough, unless you are building something valuable. You can be the hardest worker in the room, but if your effort doesn't solve a problem, you'll keep getting overlooked. You see, the world doesn't pay you for how busy you are. It pays you for how useful you are. And usefulness comes from skills, real, powerful, marketable skills. Ask yourself, what can I do that helps people? What can I do that companies, clients, or the marketplace need? That's the question that changes your income, your confidence, your future. When I started Alibaba, I wasn't the smartest person in the room. I couldn't code, I wasn't a tech genius, but I knew one thing: small businesses in China had no way to connect with global markets. That was a problem, and if I could build something to solve that problem, I didn't need to be a genius, I just needed to take action. That's the power of learning a skill with purpose. Whether it's sales, digital marketing, coding, content creation, negotiation, public speaking, data analysis, pick something that aligns with the future, because skills compound. Every hour you spend learning a real skill adds value to your life, not just today, but for years to come. But don't chase what's trendy, chase what has impact. You don't need 10 different skills, you need one skill you go deep in. Master it. Be so good at it that people start talking about you when you're not in the room. Be so good that even if someone doesn't like you, they can't ignore you. That's how you win. And please, don't wait for someone to teach you. The internet is full of free resources. YouTube, courses, books, everything is at your fingertips. If you don't learn, it's not because you didn't have the opportunity, it's because you didn't take the responsibility. From now until 2026, every single day is a chance to sharpen your edge. Learn, practice, improve. Even 30 minutes a day can separate you from millions of others who are still stuck scrolling, wishing, dreaming. The people who will thrive in the next 5 years are not the ones with the best background, not the ones with rich parents, not the ones with fancy degrees. They are the ones who solve real problems consistently, skillfully, and fearlessly. So don't ask, what job should I do? Ask, what skill can I learn to become irreplaceable? Because once you do that, the world will come looking for you, and you won't have to chase success anymore. Success will start chasing you. Now let's talk about the third thing you must do before 2026, and I want you to take this one very seriously. Respect and manage your time like your life depends on it, because the truth is, it actually does. Look, time is the one thing we all get equally. Rich or poor, smart or struggling. Everyone gets 24 hours a day, but the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is not how much time they have, it's how they use it. You see, most people don't value their time until it's too late. They spend hours on distractions, thinking they have forever. They say, I'll start tomorrow, I'll try next month. And before they know it, another year is gone, another dream is gone, another opportunity is lost. Why? Because they didn't treat their time like gold, they treated it like trash. Let me tell you this from my own journey. I was never the smartest, but I was always focused. I didn't waste time complaining. I didn't waste time blaming others. I used my time to learn, to test, to build, to fail, and to get back up. That's what made the difference. Because once time is gone, you cannot get it back. No amount of money can buy yesterday. From now until 2026, if you want to change your life, you need to become obsessed with where your time is going. Track it, audit it, ask yourself every hour, is this helping me grow or is this helping me stay stuck? You'll be surprised how much time is wasted on nonsense, on scrolling, gossiping, watching others live their life while yours stays on pause. Do you want to become great? Then start guarding your time like your future depends on it. Wake up earlier. Say no to things that don't matter. Stop hanging around with people who drain your energy. Start creating a daily schedule and sticking to it. Even one focused hour a day on your goals can transform your results by 2026. And remember, being busy is not the same as being productive. Many people are busy every day but getting nowhere. They mistake motion for progress. Don't fall into that trap. Always ask yourself, am I moving forward or just moving in circles? Discipline your time like a warrior. If something doesn't serve your purpose, cut it out. Not because you're heartless, but because you're focused. Focus is love for your future. Focus is respect for your own potential. You don't need more hours in a day, you need more value in your hours. So stop waiting for the right time. Start creating the right time. And by the time 2026 arrives, you won't just be ahead of the game, you'll be leading it. Now let's talk about the fourth thing you must do before 2026. And this one is a game changer, maybe even more than skill or time. Fix your environment. Because no matter how motivated, talented, or hardworking you are, you can't grow in toxic soil. Most people don't fail because they lack ambition. They fail because they are surrounded by the wrong people. People who doubt them, people who drain their energy, people who only talk about problems, never solutions. And over time, that negativity becomes normal, that doubt becomes familiar, that small thinking becomes contagious. You must understand, your environment is shaping you every single day, even if you don't realize it. The conversations you hear, the energy you absorb, the habits you see, it's all programming your mind. So if you hang around with 5 people who complain all day, don't be surprised when your life becomes full of complaints. If you're always around people who laugh at your dreams, don't be shocked when you start shrinking those dreams just to fit in. When I was building Alibaba, I didn't need everyone to believe in me. But I needed a few people who didn't laugh. I needed a few people who said, let's try. That's all it takes. Not a crowd, just the right circle. You don't need 100 cheerleaders. You need a few warriors who are hungry like you, driven like you, focused like you. So look around your life. Who supports your growth? Who inspires you? Who pushes you to be better? And now ask the harder question. Who distracts you? Who drains your energy? Who makes you feel small every time you speak big? Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do for your future is to walk away from people who are stuck in the past. This is not about ego, it's about survival. It's about protecting your focus, your mindset, your energy. You can't fly if you're always tied to anchors. And sadly, those anchors are often people we're emotionally attached to. But listen to me, you don't have to hate them, but you do have to outgrow them. Start spending time in rooms where people talk about ideas, not just people. Be around those who are building, not just wishing. Find mentors online. Watch content that lifts your mind. Read books that challenge your thinking. Join communities that push you outside your comfort zone. Because if you surround yourself with 5 lazy people, you'll become the 6th. But if you surround yourself with 5 hungry, disciplined, and focused people, you'll become unstoppable. So before 2026, fix your environment, protect your energy, choose your circle like your life depends on it, because it does. And trust me, once you start spending time around growth-minded people, you'll realize something important. You were never lazy. You were just in the wrong room. Now let's talk about the 5th thing you must do before 2026. And if you take this one seriously, it will make you unstoppable. Learn how to fail and keep moving forward. Because whether you like it or not, you are going to fail. And that's not a bad thing. That's how you grow. But most people don't know how to handle failure. The moment they fall, they stop. The moment something doesn't go according to plan, they take it as a sign to give up. They say, maybe I'm not meant for this, or maybe this isn't the right time. But let me ask you, when is the right time? When is the perfect moment where everything goes smooth and easy? Never. Life doesn't work like that. Growth doesn't come without pressure. Success doesn't come without scars. When I started Alibaba, I failed many times. In fact, even before that, I failed in school, in jobs, in interviews. I was rejected by Harvard 10 times. I was rejected by 30 jobs. Even KFC said no to me, but I never said no to myself. That's the difference. The world can reject you 100 times, but the moment you reject yourself, it's over. You must stop seeing failure as something negative. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. Every setback is a lesson. Every rejection is a redirection. Every mistake is a mirror that shows you what to fix, what to improve, where to grow. But here's what separates winners from quitters: resilience. The ability to take a hit, to fall flat on your face, and still stand up with fire in your eyes. You have to tell yourself, I will not let this be the end of my story. Yes, cry if you have to. Yes, feel the pain, but don't let it stop you. Let it fuel you. And don't compare your failures to someone else's success. That's one of the worst things you can do. You're seeing their highlight reel while living your behind the scenes. Don't do that. Run your race, fight your battle, learn your lessons. If you're trying to build something big before 2026, whether it's a business, a new version of yourself, a better life, you will have moments where things fall apart. You will have days where nothing works. That's not a sign to stop. That's a sign to level up. Every failure carries a gift, a skill, a mindset, a new level of strength, but only if you stay in the game long enough to receive it. The most dangerous failure is not falling down, it's staying down. So don't. Get back up, again and again, even when no one believes in you, even when the results are not showing yet, even when you're tired. Because the truth is, those who win in life are not the ones who never failed. They're the ones who never gave up. So, before 2026, make a decision, not to avoid failure, but to embrace it, learn from it, and grow through it. And one day soon, people will look at your success and say, you're lucky. But you'll smile and think, if only they knew how many times I failed to get here. Fail forward. That's how greatness is built. Now let's talk about the 6th thing you must do before 2026, and this one might be the difference between a dream that dies and a dream that thrives. Master emotional discipline, because if you don't control your emotions will control your life. You know, I've seen so many talented people lose opportunities, not because they weren't smart, not because they weren't capable, but because they couldn't control how they felt. They got angry too quickly. They gave up too easily. They let fear speak louder than logic. They let frustration lead instead of focus. Success is not just about how hard you work. It's about how well you manage your mind. Let me say something clearly. You will not always feel motivated. You will not always feel confident. You will not always feel ready. And that's okay. That's human. But if you only take action when you feel good, you'll never finish anything great. The people who succeed are not the ones who wait for motivation. They are the ones who keep showing up even when they don't feel like it. In my own journey, there were days I felt like giving up. Days I questioned everything. Days I asked, why am I doing this? Is it even worth it? But I learned something powerful. Your emotions are like weather. They change. They come and go. And if you build your life based on how you feel every moment, your life will always be unstable. But if you build based on discipline, principles, and long-term vision, your foundation becomes unshakable. Emotional discipline means doing what needs to be done regardless of how you feel. It means keeping your mouth shut when you're angry. It means staying patient when you want to react. It means staying calm when things go wrong. It means choosing growth over comfort. It means acting from vision, not from emotion. Ask yourself, how many opportunities have you lost because of a moment of emotion? How many relationships damaged? How many chances walked away because you let your feelings take over? Now is the time to change that. From today until 2026, you need to train your emotions the same way an athlete trains their body. Practice pausing, practice breathing, practice thinking before reacting, practice doing the hard thing even when it feels uncomfortable. Every time you win a small emotional battle, you become stronger. Every time you choose discipline over drama, you get closer to your dream. Because here's the truth, in business, in relationships, in life, people don't follow your emotions, they follow your consistency. Your future clients, partners, audience, team, they are looking for someone who can stay calm under pressure, someone who doesn't fall apart when things go wrong. That's what leadership looks like. That's what greatness demands. So before 2026 arrives, make this a priority. Don't just train your skills, train your emotions. Because when your mind is stable, your focus becomes deadly. And when your emotions are under control, your future is unlimited. Now let's talk about the seventh thing you must do before 2026. And trust me, this is one of the most overlooked secrets to long-term success. Take care of your physical and mental health. Because what's the point of having dreams, money, or opportunities if your body is broken and your mind is constantly tired? So many people chase success while completely ignoring the foundation it depends on, your health. They sacrifice sleep, skip meals, overload their minds with stress, and push their bodies until they crash. Then they wonder why they feel anxious, unmotivated, angry, or lost. Let me tell you something from experience. You cannot build a powerful life with a weak body and a chaotic mind. You just can't. When I was building Alibaba, I was working long hours under pressure. But even then, I reminded myself, if I collapse, everything collapses. So I made time for walking, breathing, eating right, and thinking clearly. And that gave me the clarity to make better decisions, stay calm under pressure, and lead with vision, not burnout. You don't need to be a bodybuilder. You don't need to run marathons, but you do need to move. You do need to eat clean. You do need to sleep. These are not optional. These are not things you take care of later. Your body is the machine that carries your purpose. And if that machine breaks down, everything else comes to a stop. The same goes for your mental health. There is no glory in suffering silently. There is no shame in taking a break. Success is not about killing yourself. It's about building yourself. If you feel overwhelmed, talk to someone. If you feel lost, journal. If your thoughts are heavy, meditate. If your mind is cluttered, unplug. Self-care is not selfish, it's strategic. So from now until 2026, protect your energy. Build habits that fuel you. Start your mornings with intention, not chaos. Drink water, stretch, move your body. Sleep like it matters because it does. Train your mind to focus, not just scroll. Choose food that builds you, not numbs you. And most importantly, listen to your body. It's always talking to you. You are not a robot. You're a human being, and the stronger, healthier, and calmer you are, the more unstoppable you become. People talk about mindset, but the truth is, your mindset is deeply connected to your physical condition. When your body feels strong, your confidence rises. When your mind feels clear, your decisions improve. So, before 2026 comes, don't just upgrade your business, skills, or goals. Upgrade your health, because when your body and mind are aligned, there's no obstacle too big, no dream too far, no challenge too heavy. Your health is your power. Protect it like your life depends on it, because it absolutely does. Now let's talk about the 8th thing you must do before 2026, and this one is quiet, simple, but unbelievably powerful. Feed your mind daily with powerful books and ideas, because your thoughts shape your reality, and your mind is either your greatest weapon or your greatest weakness. Most people want a better life, but they keep feeding their minds with junk. Endless scrolling, gossip, negativity, distractions. You can't expect to grow if you're constantly consuming things that shrink your thinking. You can't expect to think like a winner if all you do is absorb the noise of the world. A strong mind is not built by accident, it's built by intention. When I was starting out, I didn't have much money. I didn't have a powerful network or an elite education, but I had one thing: books. I read like my life depended on it. Business books, biographies, philosophy, personal growth, anything that expanded my thinking. I wasn't trying to look smart, I was trying to grow. And every single idea I picked up added something new to my mindset. It gave me perspective, it gave me clarity, and it gave me the strength to keep going when everything else said quit. If you want to be different by 2026, start reading what most people ignore. Books are like mentors you never met. They carry decades of wisdom that you can absorb in days. And I'm not just talking about motivational quotes. I'm talking about deep, focused reading, ideas that challenge your current thinking, lessons that shake your comfort zone, stories that remind you what's possible. If you change what goes into your mind, you change what comes out of your life. And it's not just about books. Listen to podcasts, watch documentaries, follow creators who teach you something meaningful. Make learning part of your lifestyle, not a once-in-a-while thing. Just 20-30 minutes a day of focused learning can elevate your entire mindset over time. While others are lost in distractions, you'll be gaining an edge they'll never see coming. And don't say, "I'm not a reader." That's just a story. You weren't born knowing how to walk either. You learned. So learn how to read. Start small. One chapter a day, one idea at a time. And slowly, you'll begin to notice your thinking shift. You'll start having new ideas, new standards, new goals. Because books don't just give you knowledge, they raise your internal thermostat. They show you what's possible. So from now until 2026, make your mind your priority. Don't feed it garbage and expect gold. Feed it greatness. Feed it wisdom. Feed it purpose. And one day, your results will surprise even you. Because the person who reads, learns, and grows every day is the person who becomes unstoppable. Now let's talk about the 9th thing you must do before 2026. And I believe this might be the one decision that gives you the most power, pride, and freedom in the years to come. Start something that belongs to you, no matter how small. It could be a YouTube channel, a blog, a side business, a podcast, a product, a brand, anything, but it must be yours. Most people spend their whole lives building someone else's dream. They give their time, their energy, their creativity just to survive paycheck to paycheck, waiting for the weekend, dreading Mondays. That's not living. That's just existing. If you want to take control of your future, you need to build something that you own. Something that grows when you grow. Something that reflects who you are. Something that gives you purpose beyond the 9-to-5 cycle. When I started Alibaba, it was just an idea. We didn't have investors. We didn't have a fancy office. We had a vision and a willingness to start small. Most people laughed at us. Some people even told me I was wasting my time. But I believed in the power of creating something from zero, and that belief is what made all the difference. You don't need to wait for the perfect time or perfect resources. You just need to start. Start messy. Start scared. Start confused. Start anyway. Because every big dream begins with a small step. Maybe you make no money in the beginning. That's okay. The real reward is not the income, it's the transformation. The person you become when you take responsibility for something you built is more valuable than the success itself. And starting your own thing teaches you more than any school can. You learn resilience, creativity, leadership, discipline, marketing, problem solving, all in real time. It humbles you, it stretches you, and it forces you to grow beyond your limits. Even if it fails, you won't be the same person after. You'll be sharper, stronger, wiser, and ready for the next level. So ask yourself, what's one thing you can start before 2026 that belongs to you? It doesn't have to be big, it just has to be yours. An online store, a digital product, a freelance service, a clothing line, a community page, anything. Start small, but start seriously, and commit to growing it a little every week. Don't wait for permission. You don't need anyone to say yes to your dream. You just need to say yes to yourself, because once you begin building something of your own, you'll never see life the same way again. You'll go from surviving to creating, from depending to leading. And by the time 2026 arrives, you won't just have a goal, you'll have something real, something alive, something that proves you didn't just talk about your dream, you built it. Now let's talk about the 10th and final thing you must do before 2026. And this one brings everything together. This isn't just a tip, this is the foundation of everything. Get crystal clear about who you want to become by 2026. Because without clarity, you'll waste time, energy, and years chasing things that don't matter. Clarity is power. Most people live life like passengers, not drivers. They go wherever life takes them, react to whatever happens, and wake up years later wondering, how did I get here? That's not how success works. That's how regret happens. If you truly want to transform your life by 2026, you must stop living on autopilot. You must define your vision clearly, fearlessly, and with intention. Ask yourself right now, who do I want to be in the next 500 days? What kind of life do I want to wake up to? What do I want my days to look like? What kind of people do I want around me? What kind of energy do I want to walk with? Don't just think in general terms like, I want to be successful or I want to be happy. That's not a vision, that's a wish. A real vision is specific. A real vision has detail, emotion, and direction. Imagine your ideal future like a movie. What are you doing? Where are you living? What skills do you have? How do people talk about you? What kind of impact are you making? The clearer your vision, the stronger your decisions. When you know where you're going, it becomes easier to say no to distractions. It becomes easier to wake up early, to stay disciplined, to take risks, and to walk away from anything that doesn't serve your future. Because now, you're not just surviving, you're moving with purpose. When I was building Alibaba, I had a very clear picture in my mind. I didn't know how it would happen. I didn't have all the answers, but I knew why it needed to happen and what I wanted to create. That vision pulled me forward even when things got hard. And trust me, they did get hard. But when your why is strong, you don't quit. You adjust, you rise. So if you haven't already, take some time alone. No phone, no noise. Just you and a piece of paper. Write it down, your vision for 2026, who you are, what you do, how you live, what you've overcome, what you've built. Then look at it every day. Let it become your compass. Let it burn in your mind so deeply that nothing can distract you from it. Because without a vision, you drift. But with a vision, you dominate. By the time 2026 arrives, you won't be wondering what happened. You'll be living what you designed, not by accident, but by choice, not by luck, but by clarity. And in that moment, you'll realize this wasn't just a goal, this was your new life. Now that we've walked through all 10 things you must do before 2026, I want to leave you with one final truth. Everything you need to change your life is already inside you. Not tomorrow, not next year, now. No one is going to come and do it for you. Not your parents, not your friends, not your boss. The world owes you nothing, but you owe yourself everything. The life you want, the confidence, the freedom, the respect, the purpose. It's not given, it's built. And it's built in silence, in struggle, in sacrifice, in relentless action. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. You don't need to know everything. You just need to start. You don't need applause. You need progress. The next 500 days can define your next 50 years. That's not an exaggeration. It's a reality, but only if you take responsibility. Only if you stop waiting and start building. Only if you stop talking and start doing. Because in the end, people won't remember what you planned to do. They'll remember what you actually did. So choose today. Choose growth. Choose courage. Choose vision. Because by the time 2026 arrives, you won't be hoping for change. You'll be living in the results of everything you decided today. Don't let these next few months pass like the last few years. Make this your turning point. Make this the year you surprised everyone, including yourself. Make this the year that changed your life forever.